Oh, WrestleMania. Yeah, this is our life. Pump it up, pump it up, pump it up. That's
Isn't that
all.
what we did in the '90s?
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's the best WrestleMania song, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whenever I think WrestleMania theme music, that's it. That's it.
That was
That's the
on. That
one.
was the menu screen on all when they released the anthology DVDs. That was the menu screen music for every single one of them.
Oh,
Without the lyric,
nice.
it was just the music. It wasn't the.
That's fine.
Yeah. See, I like the other one. The other the '80s music. I don't remember exactly how it goes right now, but I'd know it if I heard it. It's one of those where you hear it and you're like, yeah, the nostalgia, and then
It's
you
a
know
little darker, right? It's not so upbeat.
a little bit, yeah, and it's it's '80s,
If
it's
only there were a channel on YouTube that was dedicated to pro wrestling and music.
yeah, it's on there. Well, I mean, not on my channel, but it's on YouTube somewhere.
I'm
So
sure.
I'm not gonna post it because I don't want to take the chance of getting, you know, copyright.
Copyright.
Yeah,
I mean, so many people are watching the pod.
right, exactly. You'd be surprised. All right, yeah, it's WrestleMania season, Matt. It's here.
It's that time.
It is that time.
And for the first time in a long time, the card looks stacked.
Yeah, this is the first
Like
time.
more than one or two matches that I'm like, ooh, I can't wait to see. There's like 7 matches I'm anxious to see.
This is the first time in 10 years, maybe, probably since WrestleMania 30, where I'm not having to trick myself into being excited for WrestleMania. Like it's not
Right.
one of those things where I feel it's WrestleMania. You psych yourself up for it. Like I'm actually like jazzed about these shows this weekend.
Yeah. It's a testament to what they've done to, even though I don't think the builds have been as great
Yeah.
as maybe they should have been
Mm-hmm.
for WrestleMania, they've done enough where like I don't question whether or not the matches will deliver.
Yes. Yeah. They're at that point now, with their roster that like it's not quite an AEW level where you expect banger matches all the time, but like they have more than enough capable, especially the people that are on this card. They have enough capable people on there that even with no build, that some of these have had that you expect a really good match out of it. So
Yeah, well, and I think it's 2 nights, which means there's 2 main events, and I don't think the main event is going to be the best match on the card either night, and that says a lot about where they're at because in the past it's kind of felt like your main event match was going to be the best match because that's kind of how it's always been built.
yeah,
But
it depends. We still don't know what's going to main event night one, technically, but yeah, we'll see.
I I thought they had already announced that it was uh, Charlotte and Rhea.
No, that was just a rumor. They haven't
Mm,
officially announced anything yet.
good thing those blue check marks are going away on Twitter tomorrow.
Uh, but so what we're gonna do today is we're gonna make our predictions, but we're gonna change it up a little bit. We're going to do is it a pool with only 2 people?
No,
Okay, we're gonna do a competition.
it's more like a gentleman's competition.
Yes, I don't know if any of you out there have ever done like a confidence pool with football games or whatever, but so what we have, there's 13 matches between the 2 nights, and so 1 through 13, we're each going to assign a point value to an outcome of a match and see who has the most total points accumulated at the end of the weekend. Am I
I
explaining
like
that
it.
adequately enough?
Yeah, it's pretty straightforward.
Okay. So yeah, we're gonna do that, and it's gonna be fun. I thought it'd be better than just your standard. Well, I think Cody's gonna win. Well, I think you know. it'll add some intrigue in it, because then you kind of gotta be a little bit more strategic with how you pick and stuff like that. I think, but
Yeah, full disclosure, I did not put any thought process into like weighing out the point system and stuff.
I put a little, but yeah, I mean same.
Keeping with the tradition of this show, no show prep.
Yeah, exactly. I put about as much thought into this as I used to put into the brackets I used to fill out when we did brackets or bracket competition between the two of us.
Sure. You're saying that because I won like every year but one, but that's okay.
I mean, you did, but that doesn't change the fact that I'm like, yeah, sure. That looks
Okay.
good. Syracuse, what could go wrong?
Right. Good old Vermont.
Before we get started, though, please leave a thumbs up on the video and subscribe to the YouTube channel. A couple weeks ago, our episode had a crazy number of views, and so it'd be nice if some of those views translated into subscriptions and thumbs up and stuff, because then that gets in more people's algorithms and leads to more views and so on and so forth. So,
and I am not above putting myself in ridiculous outfits at the start of every show each week to make that happen.
That's true. And then also, yeah, you can check us out on all your favorite audio podcast feeds as well. Just look for Chris and Matt's Wrestling Pod 2. Well, actually, it's just Chris and Matt's Wrestling Pod. We didn't put the 2.0 on there yet. Also, before we get started, I just want to send out a real quick thank you for over to Joe and Robert O'Neill and all the guys over at Late Night Grin for having me last weekend. That was so much fun watching that pay-per-view with them, especially considering two of the guys on screen were like, one of them was a literal baby when the event actually happened. So it's like, I'm so old. But the other one, Manny, he had sort of like a spiritual awakening watching the Hogan Vince match.
Yeah. I saw some stuff on social. He wrote an article about it, right?
Yes, he did. In fact, he missed like, he disappeared and missed like part of, I can't remember if it was part of Rock and Hogan or part of the main event, but he like disappeared and then came back. He's like, sorry, I had like 4 paragraphs I had to just get out.
Yeah, I know that feeling. Like, I need to stop right now, get these thoughts on paper before I lose it. I get it.
At one point, he was standing, watching the match,
and he enjoyed it, obviously,
yes.
Right?
Yes, he thinks it's a top 5 match on American soil.
I think I saw that TikTok this week.
Oh, it's fantastic. So check out Manny's stuff over at Wrestle Purists. They do a lot of good stuff over there too. They did a video a few weeks back about the FTR Briscoes feud from last year that the FTR guys like themselves put over quite a bit. So
yeah, I saw that.
So yeah. Now that's all over with. Let's get to picking some matches, Matt.
Let's do it.
How do we want to do this? Do we just want to go like 1 through 13? Do we want to just randomly go through the card?
I think since the card has been released, night 1 and night 2, we could just kind of go in order. Okay. We know the matches. We've gone over it. We know we should know what we're talking about here.
Okay. All right. You want to go in with our most confident first, or you want to go less confident first?
Just give me a match. Give me a match.
All right. Start it out hot. Seth Rollins, Logan Paul.
Seth Rollins wins. I'll put that at a 10.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm at a 1. This is the one I'm least confident in because I'm not really sure. There's talk about whether, like Logan Paul sounds like his contract is up after Mania, and whether he's going to renew it or not. And I mean, if he's not, then Seth absolutely should win. Even if Logan is sticking around, he's probably not going to be around again for a while. So again, it probably would be more helpful for Seth to win. Uh, but I really could see this one going either way, so that's why I had it at number one.
That's wild to me. It doesn't like I don't see a benefit whatsoever to having Jake Paul or Logan Paul. I don't even care which one of those idiots is in this match. Like
It's one of them.
there's no benefit to them winning. They've already got the WWE's already got the publicity from having hit this tough guy running his mouth in the media, and so like they've got their benefit out of it. Now they have to use that to make Rollins. You can't weaken Rollins like that, especially if who wins the world title match wins the world title match. Like there's a built-in feud there. You can't have that guy losing to some schmuck who shills an energy drink and has wrestled 3 matches in his life.
It's a pretty tasty energy drink, though.
They're okay. They're okay.
So you got Seth at 10?
I got Seth at 10.
Okay. We shall see on that one. Let's go. Let's go with the match that's opening the whole weekend. Austin Theory defending his U.S. title against John Cena.
This is tough. I think Theory is going to win.
Mm-hmm.
But I am not very confident at all in that pick.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking like I'm going to go 4 on that.
Okay. I'm close. I did too, because on the one hand, I think Theory should win, and he probably will win. But there's that little piece of me that thinks, do you really want to open up WrestleMania with John Cena losing? Like, that's the one thing that's, especially because you don't, I mean, everyone thinks that they're opening because Cena wants to get the hell out of there afterwards. Could be. Another, like, there's an imbalanced amount of matches on the 2 nights. There's 7 on night 1, 6 on night 2. You could have Cena come back the next night and do an open challenge and make somebody and have them beat him and make somebody else. There's other options for that too if they decide, as far as like you could add Lashley to a match for night 2, or if there's anything with Austin, you can put that on night 2. But yeah, I just the wisdom, the conventional wisdom of, do you really want to open the show with one of your biggest stars ever taking an L? Is kind of like, I'm not quite sure, but I'm pretty sure Theory's gonna win though.
I think if you're trying to, like, Cena didn't come back for this match not to do something to benefit WWE. Sure. So given that we don't know that he's going to be around Sunday or Monday, that's why I lean towards Theory has to win in this premise, because we don't know if John's going to be there, and it doesn't help the company at all for John to win, get the belt, and then not be there consistently. And we know he's not going to be there consistently.
True.
So yeah, you could have him win the belt and then put someone over. But I think that hurts Theory. Why would you put Theory in this spot in the first place? Just to lose to John Cena and then have to deal with recouping his character in the weeks to come. When someone else would presumably have to come in and then beat Cena in one of the next 2 nights. Like, it doesn't do anything to help Theory going forward. And he's someone I feel like they're hoping to, by this time next year, is in one of those semi-main event positions.
Yeah, no, they're invested in him for sure. No, you're absolutely right. I just, like I said, there's that, and again, it's probably, there's part of that where, I've still got Vince brain a little bit, and so it's just one of those things where it's not quite like, if this match were going to be like more toward the middle of the show, I think I would have this much higher on my confidence scale. But because it's opening the show, that's the only thing that's really given me a pause.
Sure.
But we'll see. Interesting thing about time. So we watched WrestleMania 19 last weekend, right? So the following year, John Cena opens WrestleMania wrestling for the U.S. title. 19 years after that, John Cena's opening WrestleMania wrestling for the U.S. title.
Right. Right.
Like, crazy. But yeah, we'll see. Let's go to the women. Let's do the six woman tag. The Damage Control versus Trish, Becky, and Lita.
I feel like they kind of gave away a bit on Raw this week, and I think Damage Control is going to win this match. And I'm gonna put this at like a 7. Yeah, I'm gonna go 7 on this.
Okay.
I feel pretty good about that. I aside from rumors, if you just watch the show, they're showing that Trish is getting ready to turn on good old Becky, and I feel like a miscommunication in the tag match leads to Damage Control winning. And then there's the breakup on the Raw after Mania where Trish turns and we're off to the races on their thing.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I could see that. I have it at 3. I also have Damage Control winning because I just think they need it more.
Yep.
But would I be thrilled to see like Becky and Trish at SummerSlam? Yes. But I don't see why you got to do the turn now to do that. Because then, again, you've got to... And, you know, especially because Trish won't be there every week, I guess it might be a little bit easier to stretch it out. But I just think they can hold off on it for a little bit for something else. Especially, you know, you probably... I don't know. I think ideally I would like to wait till after Becky and Lita inevitably lose the tag team titles, because then you don't got to put Lita in that position of whose side is she on. And
sure, that's that to that point though. That's still the reason why I'm going with Damage Control to win. Yeah. Damage Control wins, then they can say I want the title shot. There you go.
I think there's another team that's going to get a title shot, but we'll get there. All right. Big meaty men slapping meat. Triple threat match for the Intercontinental title.
Oh God, man. See, who's gonna win that match is such a. This is gonna be one of the ones that's towards the bottom for me. I'm gonna go with a 3, and I'm gonna go Sheamus.
Okay, he's finally gonna complete his quest.
I'm going Sheamus, but I'm not super confident. I don't think Walter, Gunther, whatever they're calling him, I don't think he needs the belt any longer. It's time to move him up the card. It's been kind of talked about amongst fans, especially after the Rumble. He'd be a great opponent for Cody going forward. And then you can do Sheamus and Drew one-on-one, which, you know, I think would be a great match too down the road.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sticking with Gunther at 4. I mean, on the one hand, what you said makes an awful lot of sense. I don't want him taking an L, so you could have Sheamus pin Drew to win the title. And that way Gunther doesn't take the pin, and that, you know, it's one of those things that, yes, I think Gunther would be a good opponent for Cody. I don't know if you want to do it at a B pay-per-view. I would maybe do it at the Money in the Bank over in the UK. That might be when I would choose to do it.
It might be tough. Might be putting your guy in a bad spot.
Might be. But because I don't think he's beating Cody, so you want to at least, you know, I just don't see the benefit in having him face Cody at Backlash or whatever, you know, here right after WrestleMania and losing you know. So I think he keeps it for a little bit longer. But I do agree that this triple threat is probably the best scenario for getting the title off of him without him taking a loss. But I'm gonna
and the other side of it is, and this is backstage, but it's no secret Triple H has a soft spot for Sheamus. They've always gotten along. I think it's clear Sheamus is getting towards the end. Physically, he's been beat up lately. Give him that last big WrestleMania moment. Drew's not going to have a problem putting his buddy over. I feel the IC title, even though they've done a great job of elevating the secondary titles, it would be a step down for Drew. I mean, 2 years ago, the guy was wrestling for the world title at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
He doesn't need it. And like you said, getting the belt off Gunther without having him taking a pin, this is the way to do it.
Yeah. No, you make a lot of sense. So we will see. Finn Balor, Edge, Hell in a Cell. No more red cell, Matt.
I have to think that was an Edge thing. Had to be, right? Edge had to be like, this looks ridiculous. We can't do this. Please, God. Don't. This could be my make or break pick. I'm putting this at a 12.
Oh my goodness.
Finn is going to win.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, if he's the demon, you would think he would win.
And again, it goes back to who does this help going forward? Mm-hmm. Edge is he's already made. Mm-hmm. He's not going to get any bigger or any less popular by losing.
Right.
If anything, this can play into I know I don't have much time left. The Hell in the Cell took a lot out of me. I've only got so much left. I need to pick up the pieces after Mania. Not to keep belaboring the point, but going forward, Judgment Day needs to continue being a big part of the show. Mm-hmm. You got to give those guys momentum. I think having a near 50 Edge might even be 50 at this point.
No, he's not quite there, but yeah. But I mean, it's not like Finn is some young up and comer. He's like 41.
No. You're right. But I'm saying I don't think having him derail the momentum of your second most popular stable is a good idea.
Yeah, no, I agree. I have Finn as well. I have this at 5 though, just because you never know. But yeah, with the demon, I would expect Finn to win. A lot of I have a feeling the Edge's entrance should be really cool though.
Let's hope so.
And look, like it's had its ups and downs, but this is a story that's been going for the better part of a year. And this is the big payoff for it. So I'm looking forward to it. And like, you know, Edge and Beth won the mixed tag at Elimination Chamber, so Finn should probably win. Yeah. I think Finn and Cody did wrestle on Raw a little while ago, but you could run that back after Mania too for a short little program if Finn wins. Yeah, no, I think Finn's gonna win, but I have it more towards the middle. Let's stick with Judgment Day. Let's Rey Mysterio versus his son Dominic.
This is one of the ones that's the hardest for me actually, because like, man, if you really wanted to turn the heat up on Dominic. You have him beat his dad on WrestleMania on the weekend. The
day after, because that's a night one match.
Right. Like, oh, that's a hell of a way to do it. And if I'm Ray, what better way to have that first match with your son than to kind of pass the torch, so to speak? Because, I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if Ray retired after this match. Like, got on the mic and just said, you know, this has been, or he could even say it tonight. You know, this is going to be on my fight. Dude's had 1 million knee surgeries.
I've had surgery 5 times on my left knee.
Yeah, that's probably up to like 8 or 9 at this point from when that commercial.
Got those stem cells though.
Okay, but you get what I'm saying. Like I'm not calling that he's going to retire, but it's almost a storybook way if he's considering it to do it. Get inducted to the Hall of Fame. Have a match at WrestleMania with your son. Call it a day. That being said, I can't see them having him lose on the weekend he goes in the Hall of Fame. I'm going to go with Ray. I'm going to put it at I think I have my 3 spot left. I don't.
No, you do not have 3 left.
Okay. I'm going to put that at 5 then.
Okay, I have it at 6.
Ray at 5.
I have Ray at 6. And just looking at that night 1 card, you got a lot of heels that are potentially going over in other matches. So I think Ray is a safe bet here. But I could definitely see this one going either way. Dominic is like the most unlikely over person on the roster, but he gets crazy amount of heat, and it's not go away heat. I mean, for some people it is, but
I see. I think a lot of people it's go away heat.
Not the people in the arena. The people in the arena are dude. They popped huge when Ray finally punched him in the face last week.
Yeah, because everyone hates that guy, but they hate him in a sense of like, I don't want to see him around. But I get what you're saying.
I think that's a fine.
I think in the 3 months after this thing ends with Ray, we're gonna see if it's real heat or if it's go away heat.
True.
And I tend to lean on the side of people just don't like this guy, but he's in with a really hot act, and his dad is who his dad is, and it's helped him.
Yeah, no, this is fine. Yeah, no, I just, yeah, but I think Ray's gonna win. I think Ray wins. Maybe they set up a rematch in Puerto Rico. And yeah, maybe they do the retirement there or something like that. Who knows? But
dude, I haven't even heard any indication that he's going to retire.
He said in an interview he's targeting 50 years old, and he's like 48 or something like he's not that far off, but
sure. It just like to me thinking to me like it's
so
and just he's never going to have a better weekend opportunity to do something like that to call it a day.
Yeah.
I digress.
Right. Let's keep it with the Judgment Day theme. Let's go Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte Flair.
I'm putting all my eggs in this basket.
Yeah.
Rhea has to win this match.
Yeah. Going to 13 on that?
Trying to think what else is on the card on night 2 that I'm as convinced of, and it's I think I'm you know what? It's all fun and game. I'm going 13 on Rhea.
Okay. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I'm going Rhea as well. I'm doing 12, though. I think you know what my number 13 is. Yeah, it's Rhea. It'll be promotional malpractice if they don't have Rhea beat Charlotte this time.
It's a good line. I was not ready for promotional malpractice.
Yeah, it would be. It'd be the like. Yeah, no, it was dumb when they had her beat her the first time, and they got away with it because it was in front of nobody. You can't do it again, especially because you know Charlotte's already showing that she can't handle this babyface role she's in.
That's where I was going.
It's you gotta have Rhea win, and move on, and then figure out something other like. I think Charlotte's great, like I really do, but like they've got Brock syndrome with her. Like they don't know what to do with her if it's not anything with the title.
Yeah, exactly. And look, when she first came up, the first few years, she was a breath of fresh air because she was talented in the ring. She had a character she could work. It's the same character. It's the same promo. It's the same identity. And it feels like the rest of the women's roster has evolved, and she's still stuck in 2017, 2018. And they had her beat Ronda last year clean. Clean-ish. She beat Ronda one-on-one. I think if you have her beat Rhea again, you're running into a territory of like, why should we even care what Charlotte's doing? She's just going to win.
Right. No, yeah, you're right. Yeah, it's got to be Rhea. It's got to be Rhea. Um, well, since I spoke his name, let's go with Brock and Omos.
Part of me wants to go give me 12 with Brock because there's not a chance in hell, or 11 with Brock because there's not a chance in hell he's going to Los Angeles for 3 days to go put over this guy. But at the same time, there's the talk out there that he's finishing up soon.
There is, but I just got a targeted Facebook ad for SummerSlam tickets, and he's on the graphic. So
what do I got left? Yeah, give me Brock at 11.
Okay, I got Brock at 10.
Come on. If Brock doesn't put anybody over, not named Roman Reigns. So
right.
That's it. Well, and I think it would be different too if Omos had shown any sort of like, oh yeah, this guy could be the future. He's just big. I didn't see his debut. I haven't seen a lot of him, but what I have seen, he's just big. I don't see anything else about him that is like, oh yeah, this guy's a star.
Yeah, you pretty much nailed it. He's big. So, and they could play it off for comedy when he was teaming with AJ, and then after that, it's like there's not much else to him. He's like,
and that damn bell rings, and it's like, oh crap, what do we do?
He's like a step above Giant Gonzalez.
Yeah, we could put you on stilts, and you were probably a step above Giant Gonzalez, but.
Oh boy, the memories. All right, let's do these showcase Fatal 4-Way tag matches. Let's do the women's one first.
I'll be honest, like if it's not Ronda and Shayna, like what's the point? Didn't two of these teams get thrown together in the last couple of weeks? Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with those two. I'll give it a 6.
Yeah, I got that at 8, Ronda and Shayna, because there's just no one else in that match.
The only thing that concerns me is the Ronda's been pretty public about being injured, and maybe they concerns me in the sense of our little game. I don't really care if Ronda's on TV or not. Right. I could never see her wrestle again, and I'd be okay with it.
Right.
So, like, I'm not interested in her winning, but for our pick'em, that's the only reason I wouldn't go with that team.
Right, but I don't even remember who else is in this match. Let's see here. Liv Morgan and Raquel.
Right.
Natalia and Shotzi. It's not going to be them. And Sonya and Chelsea. And I don't think it's going to be like the only other team.
And they literally got thrown together on Raw Monday.
The only team realistically that I could think would be Liv and Raquel because, Liv is still pretty popular. But it's got to be Ronda and Shayna.
You know what? Now that you've spoke a little more about it, I'm putting the chips on the table. I'm going 12 for that. I'm going to change that up to 12. You already used your
12.
No, I didn't. I did. Well, crap. Give me a 9 there. Give me top what's remaining.
Okay. You were really, man, I swear.
Look, as this is playing out, you're kind of seeing there's 2 matches here we haven't talked about, and I don't know where to go on 2 of the big matches. Because we have 4 left, correct?
Yes. Yeah. All right. So then the men's one. I'm going Street Profits.
Who else is in that match? It's Street Profits,
Alpha Academy, Braun and Ricochet, and the Viking Raiders.
Yeah.
And I'm going a 9 on that one.
Yeah, I don't want to. I'm not taking the Street Profits there. I'm going to go with. Give me Braun and Ricochet, but I'm going going lower on this. Give me that at a 2.
Okay. I actually think the only other, I guess they could do Braun and Ricochet. I just think if you're gonna have a babyface team win, it should be the Street Profits. I think the other option, depending on how the tag team title match ends up, would be Viking Raiders, because then you could go into a feud with them, depending. But
Yeah, but I don't think the tag match at Mania is over by
no,
any
right,
stretch until. So that's what I'm thinking. If you give it to Ricochet and Braun, it gives you it elevates a babyface team a little higher. I know people love the Street Profits. I think they're fine, but like the last couple times I've seen them, they're just kind of like to me. Like it's old news to me, and I feel like at some point they're going to need to split Montez off and not break them up, but like Montez needs to start getting a kind of like when Brett and Anvil went apart a little bit. I feel like you owe it to the company and to him to see like can he get a little singles run out of this and move up the card because he's an incredible talent, but he's going to be hamstrung being in a tag team.
right, yeah, yeah. We'll see. Let's do Bianca and Asuka.
So I specifically saved my one for this match.
Okay.
Because I cannot for the life of me figure out what's going to happen here. We've talked about it out here on the pod. It would seem like Bianca would be the easy choice, but like Asuka's, it's just something about Asuka and the way she's come back and they know she can work. It might be a nice little story to have her beat Bianca at Mania and then Bianca comes back and gets the title before the summer, or maybe Bianca has to go down the path of Rhea for SummerSlam or something. But she's had the belt a lot lately. It might be a good time to take it off her again, reset a little bit, and give someone else a chance with the title. That being said, I feel like it's going to be Bianca, but I'm not confident. I'm going one on that.
Okay. I have Bianca as well. I'm going 7, just because I just don't. And part of it is the feud. Like they haven't really. This is probably the most disappointing feud out of all of them.
Sure.
To me, just because they just haven't done anything. They had one little thing 2 weeks ago, and then like neither of them were on TV this last week on Raw. They just ran a couple video packages for the two of them. And it's just, I just think you leave it on Bianca. I mean, again, you got to ask that. You run into that question of, okay, well, who's next for Bianca? But you could also ask the same question if you put it on Asuka, heel Asuka, like who's the babyface that's going to step up and challenge her? You got Becky tied up.
Well, I mean, Bianca gets a rematch.
Yeah, but right. But I mean, like then you're just going to hot potato between the two. You could either she beats Bianca again, or you hot potato the title, and then you're back to where you're at the start of the weekend. I don't know. I'm just sticking. I'm just gonna stick with Bianca. I think you just keep riding Bianca out. Have her set the record. And yeah, go from there. So.
All right.
Last two matches.
Last two.
Let's go tag match. Let's go Usos versus Sammy and KO.
So if I'm looking at this right, I've got 6 and 8 left, right?
You do.
I'm gonna put this at a 6. That it's KO and Sammy.
Okay.
But I'm not overly confident that KO and Sammy are gonna win.
Yeah, out of the two, this is definitely the least one. But it would feel so hollow for them not to do it. on this weekend. Like it just
Yeah.
wouldn't. Like to me, like we've relitigated this a bunch, on the pod here and in private conversation. Like to me, this would be more of a gut punch to me than Sammy losing an Elimination Chamber was to everyone else. Like I feel like this is what this has all been leading to, and I just think you got to do it. Personally, if I can dip into the fantasy booking bag for a minute, because where I'm going with the last match anyhow. I'd like kind of borrow from what you were talking about last week, but maybe moving the timeline up a little bit. You have them lose, and you do a backstage segment where Roman kind of dresses them down a little bit for losing.
Browbeats them.
Yeah. And then, you have a spot in the Cody match where it's clear, you do a referee spot or whatever, typical Roman stuff. And, Roman's expecting them to all run down and they don't show up. And then Cody ends up winning. And then you can take the story from there. Roman could take some time off, and it's kind of like, what's going on? You can still continue you can continue the feud with the Usos and Solo with Sammy, Cody, and Kevin. You can do that 6-man either on TV or at Backlash or something. And then whenever Roman's ready to come back, then you reintegrate him, and you can choose whether to do a rematch with Cody. You can choose to do stuff with the Uso. You have a lot of options after that.
Right.
I just feel like KO and Sammy have to, especially if this match ends up main eventing, like they have to win.
See, I think if it main events, I think the Usos win. If it's the main event, I think the Usos win because the next night is probably going to be the crowning of the golden child. So I don't think the Bloodline loses the tag titles and the world titles at the same time over this weekend. One of those acts has to keep their belts, I think.
See, I don't think so.
The way
I think they're just fine. They're fine.
In my mind, one of them loses, one of them wins, and that leaves the internal conflict of the Bloodline. Yeah. Because as much as people like to talk about how the Bloodline is being taken down and stuff, I said it last week. How do you say that? The Bloodline is still the champions, the tag champs. Roman's still the world champ. We've seen no real crack in the foundation. You give a little bit of a crack and you have that internal fight about like, well, we did our job. Why didn't you do yours? Or I did my job. You guys let me down. I feel like one of those two has to happen.
You could, or you could just take all the titles away from them at once. And then they really got to pick up the pieces because they haven't like the entire time the Bloodline has been together. Roman has been, world universal champion, whatever. And then as soon as Jimmy got back, him and Jay won the tag team titles. So they've had all the belts pretty much the entire time that they've all been together.
Right.
Or they've all been active, together.
Sure.
They've had all the belts. So we've never seen any of them really without titles for any significant amount of time. So I think that's just as interesting as, I said it last week. I definitely out of the two, I think the Usos retaining and kind of having that to hold over Roman's head would be the most interesting thing for me. But I just think that I don't think you're going to do any damage by doing the double happy ending at the end of this weekend.
Yeah,
go back to your roots. It's a babyface company.
Sure. Well, if they're going back to their roots, the chase is always better than the victory. So maybe Neck Tattoo should chase the belt a little longer.
Maybe.
Just saying. Instead of walking in and then just going, here you go. You're up to the top. Run with it. Make your dad proud. But I think the beauty of this is I don't think it really truly matters who wins either of these last two matches because the stuff going forward is going to be very intriguing. It's just whomever wins is going to change how the story unfolds going forward. Like who is resentful of whom, you know?
Yeah, I don't know. I just that promo with KO and Sammy on Monday just like really convinced me. Like, the whole thing about how, talking about what LA means to them, referring to PWG and stuff like that. It just
How
would.
many towns are they going to claim? Montreal is theirs. LA is theirs now.
All of them.
They worked in Dearborn, Michigan once. Do they get to claim Dearborn?
Sure. Sure.
And for me, look, I picked KO and Sammy to win because I think that's where it's going. But for me, from a just looking at this in terms of does it make sense? The Usos are arguably the most dominant tag team of the last 20 years of WWE. Sammy and KO haven't teamed together in how long? To me, it just doesn't make any sense that they would win this match. But it's wrestling. That's part of what, Kevin Owens is a former world champion. Sammy just pushed Roman to the limit. Like, I get it.
Yeah. So, all right. Last but not least, you know where I'm going. Number 13, baby. Give me Cody Rhodes.
All the eggs in the basket.
All the eggs in the basket.
Part of me wants to go the other way. And the closer we get to it, the more I'm starting to think, I don't think I don't. I said it last week, and I'm going to stick with that. If he gave me $500 and said you have to bet it on somebody to win, I'm taking Cody. So I'm going to have to take Cody. But I am not going to be shocked if Roman wins. I'm not going to be shocked.
I'm not going to be nothing would shock me. It's just, I don't know. It would no matter how good the rest of the weekend is, like, it just would it would end it with a bad taste in my mouth.
Which is like, let's be honest. That's exactly, like, that's the best point you could make. After all of this, if Cody doesn't win, a lot of people are going to have that, like, oh my God, that was awful. And it's just going to ruin the weekend for a lot of their fan base.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But that hasn't stopped them in the past, so.
Yeah, I think it's, and we talked about this last week. We've talked about it for weeks now. Like, I think it's a little different in the fact of, like, Cody is already the biggest star in the company. I don't think him losing would hurt him. I think it would actually make him even more popular. But I couldn't make a credible argument against why he shouldn't be champion.
Mm-hmm.
I can make an argument, but it's not like I'm standing on this hill and I'm going to die for this. Like, if you put the belt on him, I don't blame you at all.
Yeah. Yeah.
All I ask, just if they're going to do it, bring back the Winged Eagle. Like, he's already talked about it. He's already, like, made mention that wouldn't it be cool. He's mentioned it before. Like, he did it with the IC title. If me having to watch him come out for months brings back the most gorgeous belt in the history of professional wrestling, it'll be worth it.
Yeah, it'd be nice, even if it was just for him. The problem is, I'm not a fan of the belts, but when you've got Patrick Mahomes walking around Kansas City for 5 days with a big WWE logo around his waist, like.
Yeah, but come on, it's WWE is a brand.
You still could give those to the
champ. Exactly. You can still just give those to the pro wrestling fans to walk, or the sports champions to walk around with. But, like you just said, you got a targeted ad for SummerSlam tickets. They're going to sell 75,000 tickets for that show and not have a single thing announced. The brand is what sells the show. It's what CM Punk talked about years ago.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter who Roman is wrestling this weekend. It was going to do huge box office because it's WrestleMania. So give me a title belt that looks like a title belt, not just a logo for the company. They're so ugly.
It's just going to be a giant American Nightmare logo instead.
God, and make it spin. And every time it makes a rotation, it goes, whoa!
With a
How loud do you think that pop is going to be on Sunday?
Oh,
How
that
loud is the
whoa
whoa going to be?
is going to be. It might shatter that
They're-
glass ceiling they have in that place.
They're gonna. Well, we don't shatter glass ceilings in WWE, sir.
True. That might not, but his pyro probably will.
Maybe. Yeah, he's been saying he's got
an obscene amount of promo
of pyro.
Yeah.
They probably brought in the guys from your shirt to help set all that up.
They should have.
No, they want to get him over, Chris, with like a younger audience, not dudes in their 60s.
Yeah, well, whatever. Those dudes in their 60s just sold out 2 nights at Madison Square Garden, buddy.
Okay.
Anyways. Yeah. Is there anything kind of like, so are you, just throw something out, do you expect any kind of surprises either of these 2 nights or the Raw after? Is there something that you're kind of, I don't want to say predicting, but something you would like to see? Would you like to see Austin do something?
I mean, if he's into it, yeah. If it's something that like he's got a fire for, yeah. If it's a payday, like when he came out and stunned everyone back in Dallas at 32, like that was neat and all, but I don't think you need to take up a bunch of time to do a skit like
him
that.
Dancing with Woods before he stuns him, that was great.
It was great. It was really good. But I feel like
best part of that show
this year, especially, probably the women's triple threat match of that show was really good. But what I'm saying is, it feels like this year they're actually focusing on the talent that's been there and been kind of carrying the ball the last few months. So, like, if Austin comes out and does a 20-minute segment, kind of like when The Rock buried the Wyatt family, like, I guess that's cool for the fans, but for me, like, why are we sacrificing people that are going to be on the show the next week to put these old timers over that aren't going to be here for another 6 months?
Yeah, they the I don't even think it's a rumor, really. It's more of just speculation online that he might do something with LA Knight.
Right, which would make sense because LA Knight's rambling about being on the show. I've been actually trying to avoid. Yeah, I've been trying to avoid spoilers.
Oh yeah,
I did for surprises. That's sort of like I did see like, and it's been out there, so it's not really a spoiler. But like Randy Orton is already in town. I don't think it would surprise anybody if Randy showed up at Mania, but I think he's going to be one of the big Monday after Raw.
Yeah, I think
returns.
You do, because someone said, I can't remember what podcast I was listening to where they talked about if Cody won, does Randy come out and attack him right then? It's like, no, you got to wait till the night out. You got to give Cody his moment on Sunday night, and then you can do that on Monday if that's where you're going. Or
you give him the moment on Monday too.
Yeah,
you let him get that. You deserve it.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't deserve it, and all that stuff out of the way, and then you can start the story. Dwayne's posting photos of getting on the jet to go to work. Like,
will he be in attendance for his daughter's first match on Saturday morning?
That you know what? I hadn't even thought about that. That's probably where, like, how they got him to come in. And if he's there, he's probably going to do something.
That'll be an awkward conversation backstage.
Why do you say that?
Just, Sean's running NXT and,
Oh, yeah, I didn't even think about it. I was thinking more about the fact of, like, oh, you weren't available to come wrestle for us. But you can make it into town for this. Good night. Thanks, Dwayne.
Yeah. I don't know. If you listen to Bruce, they've had this Cody plan since August, so.
Right. Which is another reason why I'm not totally like, oh yeah, Cody's winning no matter what, because up until the time Dwayne said no, it sounded like they were going with that as their big match. And in that case, Roman was keeping the belt. So
right.
I don't know.
We'll see.
I can't think of anybody else. Like, the Hall of Fame class is probably the worst one they've done since they turned it into the weekend of WrestleMania big deal. What was that, WrestleMania 20?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
To me, on paper, this is the worst class. So I don't see anyone from there making a special appearance.
I like that it's
Yeah,
small. It's only like 4 people plus the Warrior, plus Tim White. Um, it's just tough with it being on Friday night now. Well, not just Friday night, because it's been on Friday night for a while now. It's tough being on Friday night after SmackDown.
yeah. I keep going back to the class itself. Andy Kaufman, like nobody, he wasn't even in WWE, which I know you can say the same thing about Muda.
Mm-hmm.
But like the Andy Kaufman stuff was in the South 40 years ago. And I'm going to guess most wrestling fans that are watching the weekly product now don't know, they know that much about Andy Kaufman and Jerry Lawler. Tim White was a great referee. Absolutely deserves to be in the Hall of Fame, but he would be like your middle of a traditional ceremony. Give him 10, 15 minutes. Muda, like I said, didn't even wrestle in the company. Name me your 3 favorite Stacy Keibler matches, Chris, that don't involve her taking her clothes off.
Oh, well, shoot. Darn.
And I don't mean that in a sexist way. I mean
No.
like they didn't, like that was her role in the company at the time.
Yeah.
So it's not like I'm excited. Oh, Stacy's getting her flowers. Like, yeah, that's really nice. And she was a big star, but she's not a Hall of Fame talent in my mind. So it leaves Ray, and like Ray is outstanding for what he does. He's probably the most popular luchador in U.S. history. He deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. But that's about the only part of the show I'd be interested to watch.
Right. So, yeah, I'm not like, I don't think I never went back and watched last year's, to be honest. It's just, I don't know, that Friday night at 10 o'clock. It's not, especially it's just not conducive to my life right now. So.
And I don't like the fans being around. Like I liked it back in the day when they had the legends up front. And it was like a black tie thing. It seemed special. Once they put it in the ring and put the fans around the ring, and that dude attacked Brett, I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
This is stupid. But
yeah,
not my company.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you see the set?
I did.
That's beautiful.
I did. It's epic. It's got Charles Robinson sprinting down the ramp energy again for that main event on Sunday.
Yeah, it's one of the best ones they've done, to be honest.
I'm going to want to see how it looks once it's, because the video with Corey and Carmella, I don't think they gave it a good enough, like they didn't give you enough of the stage.
Right, yeah.
But I'm curious to see what it looks like once everything's a go on Saturday.
Yeah. So the trailers, it started out a little shaky, but I thought the last 2 they've done pretty good. The 40-year-old virgin one with the Brawling Brutes and Drew, I thought that was hilarious. And then the Goodfellas one with the Bloodline was really good too, I thought, this week.
Yeah, I mean, look who's in it though.
Yeah.
It's like Heyman carried, once again, Paul Heyman's carrying water for everyone around him.
Am I your tribal clown?
Well, and I think that the best part about that too is just watching. Well, not the best, but I really enjoyed watching Solo. Just like staying in the character. The Usos are laughing and giggling. Something he's just not having it.
Yeah,
they're doing right with him.
Oh yeah, for sure. So,
do you have any surprises or any? The rumor is the Raw after Mania is going to be huge.
Yeah, I think whoever loses between Braun and Carmelo at NXT is probably going to show up. And maybe if they ended up signing Jay White, I could see him showing up. But other than that, I really don't have a good gauge on anything. Because like you, after pretty much since yesterday, if there's anything that's like even quasi spoiler related, I haven't clicked on it and read it. If it's just stuff from interviews and stuff like that, I'll read it and stuff like that. But if it's anything that's even remotely spoiler related, I've been kind of trying to avoid it because I just want to be in the moment on Saturday and Sunday.
I agree. I guess for Monday, they keep hinting at it. The Wyatt 6 could possibly be a thing for Monday, but see, I hope it's not.
I don't know, because the thing is, like, he's, whether it's sickness or for health reasons, he's not able to compete at WrestleMania. That's why the Lashley match is off, and that'd be really stupid then if he showed up on the night after with a group. I mean,
if he doesn't have to compete, though.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. It's just
that's one of those things where you could draw it out for 6 weeks again, even longer if you wanted to, where they're just being creepy.
I would just as soon abandon it and come up with something else. But
I mean, I've firmly joined the camp that Bray Wyatt, he's another one where I just don't need to see it anymore. It doesn't work for me.
Yeah.
If other people enjoy it, good for them. But you're not going to get me interested in what he's doing. The longer he does the mythical boogeyman stuff, the further away he gets from me of wanting to watch what he's doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
That stuff at the Rumble was brutal.
Fair enough. All right. Let's get out of here, Matt.
Woohoo!
So yeah, I will post our picks here on the show Twitter at KM Wrestling Pod, and then you all, either in the comments in this video or on Twitter, send us your fill out your list and your what your confidence level in each match is, and send it to us on Twitter or leave it here in the comments on the video, and yeah, we'll make it a big social game or something.
A big social game.
Yeah.
It's like Squid Game for wrestling.
Yeah, exactly. Community. That's the word I'm looking for. Community.
There we go.
Whatever. What are words?
As long as you got the best words, that's all that matters.
Prefer to use more than words, Matt.
There we go.
All right. Yeah. Follow the show at KM Wrestling Pod. Follow me at Ibanez Chris. musicandmoonsaults.com. Until next week, we'll be back with our recap of WrestleMania, as well as anything else that's happened in wrestling over the course of the next week. So hopefully we can dip back into some A&W talk, because some interesting things seem to be cooking over there, but it's all Mania this week. So, yeah. Until next time, see ya.